Conor McGregor signs a brand new contract. I've got all the news about that. Why do we still care about these useless, unentertaining all-star games that sports puts out and expects us to buy tickets for? It's ridiculous. A young man from Oak Park, Illinois may be the answer to whether Tom Brady is coming back with the Patriots or not. And we've got all the Super Bowl 54 stories, statistics, and picks. You found the show that helps you be smarter than your friends when it comes to sports. Let's start the show.
You're tuned into the hottest sports analysis of the week with your hosts Ron Dolbeck and Chris Roberts. And now, here's the first round.
Live on a Wednesday, you're joining us here in the St. Jude studios. It's Ron and Chris with you every single Wednesday and Sunday, doing it awesome, doing it live, and talking about everything going on in the world of sports. Super Bowl is coming up. I've got Conor McGregor contract highlights. I've got Lakers stories. Everything awesome going on this week. The biggest thing is Super Bowl, but joined always on my left-hand side here is Chris Roberts. Chris, tell me something exciting. I need it today, man. I need something exciting.
Man, Ron, I'm in all Celtics gear today, man.
That's right.
How much more exciting can they be?
Well,
man?
Bring it over. Bring those together. Bring it
on,
together
man.
so people can see. You lost your trivia.
Look, man,
There you go.
Boston, okay.
Hey, you got to pay. You got to bring it together. You lose trivia,
Oh, come on, man.
and that's the way it goes. So we're going to start the show right now with the trivia. If you win the trivia, it's $100 in cash.
All right, let's see.
If you do not win the trivia Sunday, you will be right back here wearing more gear that you don't like that I'm in love with.
I guess.
Are you ready
Here
for
we
your
go.
trivia?
All right.
Is this Super Bowl trivia?
Okay.
This should be a slam dunk for you.
I hope so.
Okay. Miami has hosted 11 Super Bowls, including this year.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing in a certain stadium this year, but that stadium has had 5 different names that they've hosted Super Bowls under. You've got 10 seconds to give me the name of the stadium each time they played there. There's 5 different names.
What?
There's no what. You know where they're playing this year? Then
Yes,
add
I
that
do.
to your list. So it's been
yes.
called 5
Right.
different things for the 5 different times the Super Bowl has been played in the stadium that they're playing in
man.
Sunday. You got 10 seconds
and
go.
I mean, I can think of just 3. I
Okay.
have Joe Robbie.
Yep.
I have, I think, was it Pro Player? or
Yep.
what? It's like the Seminole Hard Rock now.
That's the right now, and you got 2 more.
Oh, gosh. What is Dolphin Stadium?
That's 1. 3 seconds. 2. 1.
Miami Stadium.
No, you're
Oh,
close.
from the Orange Bowl.
No, it wasn't the Orange Bowl. They tore that down and they built the new stadium. They built the Joe Robbie Stadium. But you got 4 out of 5. You got that was close. You know what that means? That means you still lose. And Sunday you're going to be wearing some gear that I like. You know what? You missed Sun Life Stadium. It's been called Sun Life, Hard Rock, Joe Robbie, Pro Player, and Dolphin Stadium. And I didn't even think you'd get Dolphin Stadium, but you got that one. How did you know Dolphin? I didn't even know that one.
Look, from native Floridian, man. I didn't. Sun Life.
Sun Life Stadium. Yeah, so you got 4 out of 5, which means you still lose, which makes me a happy man. And Sunday, on Super Bowl Sunday, you will be wearing some gear of my choice. Probably a team that you don't like that's going to make me happy. Let's get on to Super Bowl 54 happening in Miami. Kansas City taking on my pre-playoff winning team, the San Francisco 49ers. There is so much to cover about this story. I'm kind of like starting to get drowned out on the news with it all.
Right.
Are you? It's overkill.
Yeah.
The worst part is actually game day. And I don't know if you guys are with me out there, but it isn't the actual Super Bowl. Why do we need 75 hours of pregame coverage where you do 59-minute bios on every single player, first string through third string? I mean, it's like a third string linebacker that's never even suited up, and they do a 15-minute bio on his family, his dog, his beer of choice, and what kind of car. I don't need to know all that.
Man, Ron, that was the perks of winning, getting to the point of winning it, man. You went through all this brutal, this whole season. You got beat up, bruised. I mean, hey, what's 75 hours?
That's the perk for who? I got to watch it.
Hey,
I'm not
man,
interested in that stuff.
They want to get it all out there to let you know who they are. I mean, maybe he'll come to your team and play and get your team to the Super
Have you ever
Bowl.
heard the term the customer is always right? The customer. We're the customers that buy the beer and all that stuff.
Yes, I know.
I don't
want
want to see 25-minute bios.
Yeah, I understand it, but that third string might be your starter next year. You never know. Hey,
You didn't take your smart pills this morning. First time in 50 years in the Super Bowl for the Kansas City Chiefs. 7th appearance for the San Francisco 49ers. This is the 11th time the Super Bowl has been held in Miami. And the 49ers are the third team ever to reach the Super Bowl with the previous year's record only having 4 wins or less.
Oh, wow.
So think about that. Last year, they only had 4 wins, and the next year, they're in the Super Bowl. That's only happened 3 times. The 49ers are one of them. And it's their first winning season since 2013. See, we're starting to build momentum for my case. Because in our pre-playoff picks, I had San Francisco, and you had who?
I had the Ravens, I think.
Yeah, your team was out and gone a long time ago. So let's break it down right now. When we talk about Kansas City, it's great that they were on the precipice last year. New England gets it done in the AFC Championship game. They make it this year to the Super Bowl. It's the first time in 50 years. And when we talk about KC, we talk about one thing, and that's what? That offense. That's all we talk about. And so many people, I think, are getting hyped up on Kansas City's offense, which absolutely blows my mind because it is dangerous. There are tons of weapons on that offensive side of the ball. But historically, offense doesn't win Super Bowls. And I'm going to build a really good case for you on this. NFL offenses this year. Who is number 1? Baltimore. Who is number 2? San Francisco was number 2 overall. Tampa Bay was 3rd overall in offense. We're not to Kansas City yet. The Saints were number 4. KC was 5. And Dallas, who didn't even make the playoffs, was 6.
See, all that talk about Jameis, and he got one of the best offenses in the league.
I know. And talk to me about all those playoff games he's won.
I had one.
Wait, don't you have an MP3 back there for crickets? Ray Boom Boom's got to hit some cricket sounds. Tell me about all the times Jameis has been in the playoffs.
Hey, man, that was it's all about sarcasm there, guy. It's all about sarcasm, man.
Yeah, he's let's stick to the Super Bowl relevant players and not Jameis Winston, your secret man crush on him. The team scoring the most points in the regular season has made the Super Bowl 21 times.
Yeah.
So let's just keep talking about how awesome offense is. Guess what their record is? 10-11. Losing record. All that offense equals nothing. A losing record.
Yeah.
See, I'm just building my case because, again,
I hear you.
As NFL fans, we are like moths. We're magnetized to that offense, and it looks so awesome. But tell me how Lamar Jackson's doing right now with that awesome dynamic offense. Not that he's not the best player, because he is. But offense doesn't. That's not where it's at. You got to get past that eye candy.
That Kansas City is a whole nother monster, man. It's the fact that they're able to roll off, 35 straight points. It doesn't matter. I mean, they don't need the ball. They don't need the ball long. I mean, these guys are just running down the field on people.
Okay, let's just keep talking about offense because offense is the big thing here. Let's start with where it all began in Super Bowl 1. Yeah, Kansas City playing Green Bay. Kansas City had the number 1 offense in the NFL, and Green Bay had the number 1 defense. Result, Green Bay wins 35-10. That's just one game, though. That's a freak thing, right? Exactly. I mean, I don't really know what I'm talking about totally. Yeah. So let's go to Super Bowl 4. Minnesota, number 1 overall offense, and they're going up against the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 4. Kansas City had the number 1 defense. Final score, 23-7 KC. Defense wins again. I know, that's only 2. I'm just making up freak stats. Yeah. Let's keep the ball rolling. Super Bowl 13. Dallas, number 1 overall offense going up against Pittsburgh, number 1 overall defense. Pittsburgh wins. Defense wins 35-31. But you're saying, Ron, that's only 4 games. We're up to 50, so let's keep it going. Super Bowl 19. Miami and Dan Marino, 1983, go up against San Francisco and Joe Montana. Miami had the number 1 offense. San Francisco had the number 1 defense. And the result, 38-16, San Francisco. Now we're starting to see a trend here. These aren't just freakish stats. Super Bowl 25, the Bills, number 1 offense. New York Giants, number 1 defense. 2019, G-Men get it done. Defense wins again. Super Bowl 28, Denver, number 1 in offense, goes up against Seattle, who is number 1 in defense. Seattle gets it done 43-8. Defense wins again. Rams, greatest show on turf.
Here we go, because it's a Patriots game.
And the Patriots win the Super Bowl against the greatest show on turf.
Yeah. But
It's starting to become a habit, and not just
it's becoming it was they won because Kurt Warner I could outrace Kurt Warner on one leg.
Let me throw some dirt on my own team. 2008, Tom Brady throws 50 touchdown passes.
Mm-hmm.
Their top 5 ranked offense. They go into the Super Bowl against the Giants, 8.5-point favorites. Defense wins again. Giants get the victory over a vaunted, awesome, electric, explosive offense.
Man, but that game was fluke.
That was a fluke. You keep saying that. It's just a fluke.
That was a fluke game. I mean, come on. I mean, David Tyree catching the ball on his helmet. Come on, man. That was a fluke game.
That was a fluke game, and we should have won. Be that as it may, the statistics are still the same. There's this very heavy trend towards number 1 offenses in the Super Bowl playing against the number 1 overall defense, and the defense wins overwhelmingly so much.
Well, I mean, that's overwhelming, but I don't know if there's been an offensive team like Kansas City.
Greatest show on turf. Hello.
Wait a minute now.
Hello.
I mean,
you play to win the game.
Wait a minute. I mean, seriously. I mean, Kansas City, if you notice their games, they have you figured out by the second quarter. By the second quarter, they've already figured out your defense. So if your defense isn't changing up, it's game over.
I've got a stat for you. Patrick Mahomes, 3 years in the league.
Yeah.
They have only in 3 years, they've only lost 1 game by more than 7 points when he starts the game at quarterback. That's pretty impressive to me. Exactly. So even if you can roll up a lot of stats offensively, it doesn't mean you're going to win. But in the case of Kansas City, it means you're going to keep it close because they've only lost by 7 points or more. More than 7 points, 1 time in 3 years.
I mean, to me, it's just Kansas City. To me, they attack you for so many different areas.
You're right.
I mean, not only do you have to worry about them running the ball, but they can pass the ball on you. They can hit you with special teams. I mean, it's too many ways, and then we're still sleeping on Kansas City defense. Their defense has really stepped up their game.
Yes, from last year, their defense has gotten better. They're actually in the top 10 in the NFL in overall defense. So I'm giving Kansas City kudos on their defense, and I'm saying that their offense is electric. What my point is that as fans, what we need to do is stop gravitating to what is fantastic and awesome and explosive because it's not sustainable. It doesn't win. When was the last time in the past 30 years an explosive offense won a Super Bowl? Because I've got the list right here in front of me. You got the Joe Flacco years with Baltimore. You got Seattle. They weren't an offensive juggernaut. They were the Legion of Boom. You've got Denver and New England and Philadelphia. Philadelphia in the past 30 years had the highest ranked offense to win a Super Bowl, and they were only ranked 4th. So offense doesn't do it. Listen, I know it's easy, especially for the younger generation, to look at KC right now and think they're explosive, they're awesome, they can't be stopped. They can be stopped. In fact, they lost 3 games at home this year, and they were stopped. And looking at offense when it comes to a Super Bowl, it's kind of like looking at young kids playing soccer. All the little kids run to where the ball is. And then it's just like magnet soccer. It's not good to watch. It's not good quality. It makes it really hard to score. And when do those kids actually score the ball? When there's a breakaway, when somebody breaks away, or if there's a coach that is in his right enough mind to get those kids to understand to spread the field. But we're like those little kids, NFL fans. We look at the offense and we go, oh my gosh, how can you stop Patrick Mahomes? Well, he got stopped 3 times this year at home and 1 time on the road. So he's not on the pantheon of all-time NFL great quarterbacks. He hasn't even won a championship yet. He's in his first Super Bowl. I give him credit. He's awesome. He's dynamic, but so is Lamar Jackson, and he's playing golf right now. So I'm just trying to hit the pause button because it's so easy to look at awesome offenses and then get carried away and go, oh, yeah, this is great. And everybody just goes towards that ball. But when you spread it out, when you look at the actual facts and the actual statistics and the actual history, defenses win championships, Chris.
They win championships. I mean, but to me, the way this Kansas City offense is set up, it reminds me of the Golden State Warriors. I mean, they're just running, gunning, having fun, and I mean, they play just enough defense just to get you off the field. And to me, if they stop the running game for San Francisco, Jimmy G, okay, he's a pretty decent quarterback, but I don't think they have the weapons on the outside to stop, to actually, keep up with Kansas City if they were to get rolling. They just don't. I don't see it.
I think Emmanuel Sanders is a great. I think he's a B-level wide receiver. I think they have 2 B-level wide receivers or B-plus wide receivers.
Exactly.
Jimmy G doesn't need to win the game. He's not going up against the fearsome foursome or the Steelers from the 70s. That's not what KC's defense is. They're a C-plus defense. He doesn't have to go out and put up 350 yards, 5 touchdowns, and no interceptions. He just has to manage the game. They have a solid running game. Here's the thing. Look, they're 6th. Here, let's talk about their defense. San Francisco. San Francisco has the number 1 overall defense. That sold me right there. I'm already going with San Francisco. But here's the thing. They're number 6 against the pass. They only give up 211 total yards. Guess how good they are against the rush, Chris?
How good are they against the rush?
They only give up 41 yards rushing. Bam!
41
per
yards.
game, 41 yards, man.
Again,
talk to me.
Again, this is Andy Reid's year. I believe this is his year where he's going to shine, and Andy Reid's going to show why he has Kansas City there. And the way Eric Bieniemy's offense is set up, the way it's designed.
Yeah, way underrated offensive coordinator.
Exactly.
And most of the people who follow the NFL don't even know who Eric Bieniemy is, and they're sleeping on him. And he should have gotten a head coaching consideration.
Wink.
Right, he should have got ahead. But listen, defense wins championships, and San Francisco's offense is good enough to move on KC's defense. But their look at their front four, dude. They are nasty. All these guys got bad intentions. They want to rip your head off like a Pez dispenser. Bosa up front, D Ford, Solomon Thomas, DeForest Buckner, Sheldon Day. And that's before you get to Quan Alexander, who can spy Mahomes coming out of the backfield. How are you going to get past 41 yards? All they're going to do is put tons of pressure on him.
They're gonna try to put pressure on to try to spy him. But again, the mixed match comes when you have to go against Hardeman, you have Kelsey, you have Tyreek Hill.
Okay,
and then
so
you have
put
Sammy
Richard
Watkins.
Sherman on Tyreek Hill.
So now you're spreading out. I mean,
yeah,
you're spreading this whole offense out. And so you're trying to put Quan Alexander to spy Holmes, but I mean Holmes he's just fast enough. He has enough game speed to get what he needs to get down, keep the ball moving.
I think they're going to put tons of pressure on Patrick Mahomes. That is the key for Kyle Shanahan in this game. Let your defense take over and be dominant like they've been all season. And just let Jimmy G manage it. If we start talking about fumbles, turnovers, pick sixes from Jimmy G, it's going to be a long day.
Exactly.
But if he just manages the game, and he's better than a managed type quarterback. He came out of the system with Tom Brady for 4 years. He's better than average. He doesn't have to just manage it. He could go out and win the game. I don't think he's going to take over the game, but he could do better than just manage it. I think they're going to get all kinds of pressure on Patrick Mahomes. And Richard Sherman, in the time he's been in the league, has 39 interceptions. That's more than anybody else that's played. 39.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a pick on the game and a score, Chris.
Pick for this game, Kansas City 27, San Francisco 21.
27-21, Kansas City.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really tempted to bet you on this one. I'm really, really tempted. I'm going San Francisco like I had pre-playoff. I picked San Francisco to win the whole thing. I'm going San Francisco 31-23 to get it done. I think their defense is going to shine in a way that not a lot of people have seen. And I think that defense wins championships. And that's what I'm banking on. Other NFL news, Roger Goodell comes out today and says that he is more worried about Antonio Bryant's health and not when he's going to return to the NFL. I think that that's a great move. Hall of Famer Chris Dolman, 15 years in the league, 9 of them with the Minnesota Vikings, passes away of cancer today, age 58. He was a great defensive player. I remember watching him as I was growing up. Chicago Bears QB Mitchell Trubisky has successful surgery on his shoulder. Why am I even talking about this? Why is this in the notes about Mitchell Trubisky having surgery? 3 years in the league, he's got 48 touchdowns and 29 interceptions. He has 21 fumbles that have been lost. So he's actually got, He's got more turnovers than he does touchdowns. He's another interception and turnover magnet.
Well, I mean, Mitchell Trubisky did come on a little bit towards the end of the season after, botching up the beginning of the season, couldn't throw the ball 5 yards. I mean, so.
If you're a Chicago fan, are you about ready to cash your chips in?
I'm about there. I mean, to cash my chips in. I was there last season, but hey, I'm not a Chicago Bears fan, so.
Oh, right. It was written down. I read it. I'm over it. We don't need to talk about Mitchell Trubisky. How about the Lakers coming together in their El Segundo facilities today with players and employees, family members, get together for a lunch to remember Kobe Bryant? The Lakers had a game scheduled last night at Staples Center against the Clippers that was postponed, and they look forward to Friday getting back on the court against Portland there at Staples Arena. Other NBA news, this one absolutely blew my mind, Chris. Milwaukee Bucks owner Mark Larcy had a conversation, believe it or not, with Michael Jordan in Paris. So what kind of a freak event has to happen where those three things happen? Mark Larcy, Michael Jordan in Paris.
Hey.
It happened. They had a conversation. You know what he told him?
What?
This is what he told Michael Jordan. We're focused on beating your 70-game win record, single-season win record, and your championships. Really, Mark? That's great. That's what you want to do? I want to be the starting center fielder for the Boston Red Sox. I don't see that working out. I don't know what world he's living in, but he's light years away from being in the same category as the Bulls, who went on a streak that has been yet to be matched with 6 championships.
I'm trying to figure out what does he have in his pipe smoking. I'm trying to figure that out myself. Really?
Yeah.
Win a championship?
And what's Michael Jordan doing hanging out with him? Other things going on in the NBA. Victor Oladipo from the Indianapolis Pacers, one of the young and upcoming stars of the NBA, tore out his, ruptured his tendon last January. He's scheduled to come back tonight against the Bulls. So Indianapolis fans are looking forward to Victor Oladipo coming back. Let's take a break and talk about some of our sponsors here on the first round. All that was sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you more than 15% on car insurance. Get a hold of Geico today at geico.com to see what they can do for you. Southland Ford dealers. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Pepsi. Pepsi, happiness is a choice. It's the choice of a new generation. Try Pepsi. Okay, Chris and Ron here in the St. Jude studios talking about everything going on in the world of sports. I have San Francisco getting it done in the Super Bowl. Chris is going with Kansas City for some reason. He's enamored with the Kansas City offense, which I explained to him, defense wins championships, and he's still going with that. Speaking of championships, high level of play, all-star type players, let's talk about the all-star game, Chris.
Which one?
Well, we could pick any of them. We could start with the Pro Bowl that happened last weekend in the NFL. We could talk about NHL All-Star Weekend. We could talk about the MLB All-Star Game. To me, they're all a joke. The NBA one is as bad as any other ones. And the one that really rips me off and bothers me is the NFL one because you're not even trying. Why am I going to tune in? Why am I going to go to the game, fight the traffic, pay for the parking, $9 million in concessions, and sit there and watch guys courtesy tackle and ole their way through 2 hours of absolute drag where no one's making an effort? I don't want to see the best players in the game who don't even go to the game anymore. Most of them are either in the Super Bowl or have some injury that keeps them out. So I'm watching second and third tier guys courtesy tackle and not give 100% effort. And if I'm going to watch All-Stars, I want to see them performing against each other at the highest possible level. Am I out of my mind?
Well, football, I wouldn't go full throttle in Pro Bowl either. I mean, I got a career to think about. I mean, you know how many players have blew out ACLs playing in a Pro Bowl game?
How many?
I'm not blowing out.
Right, how many though? That's the whole point. When was the last time that ever happened?
I think that happened a few years ago.
Now, who was it? See?
Don't
talk if you don't know the stats.
I mean, but still, I'm not going all out. I mean, a matter of fact, I watched it. It sucked. I mean, because they were playing two-hand touch this year.
Yeah.
But, I mean.
It's like junior flag football.
Why
Why am I watching that? Why am I interested in this? It is such a ripoff. It's such a joke. The hockey one I can't even understand anymore. First of all, okay, my BP started to go through the roof. The NHL hockey game, they had a mascot versus mascot game. I absolutely have no interest in that at all. I would rather mix wasabi with anthrax, snort it like cocaine, than watch that drag. That's ridiculous, and it's insulting to me. I mean, if I have to put myself in a position where I have a career and I'm making money to come to your game, and that's what you're going to have me watch is mascots playing each other, and then what the heck is this whole deal? Usually it's like, you know, the Eastern All-Stars against the Western All-Stars. This year, oh no, we have even more gimmicks out there. We're going to split the NHL hockey players up into 4 different teams and have the fans try and figure that out. And then we're going to go 3-on-3 against 2 goalies. What in God's green earth is that? It's a joke. It's become so gimmicky. I'm not interested. This doesn't pull me in.
But, Ron, I mean, the purpose of the whole All-Star game is to actually get all of these players together in one place.
To do what?
If you can afford to go to...
Okay, but to do what? Get all the stars together to compete against each other?
Ron, it's not about competition. It's about the fans. It's about getting everybody together there in one collective place. Just like
if it's about the fans, what am I watching?
But Ron, it's not about watching. It's about the fans. That's what the All-Star game is all about. Because when you go to those type of events, you get all of the top name players there.
Doing what?
Where if you are a consumer of that product, you can get there. You can meet your favorite baseball player, football player, NBA player, whatnot, get autographs. You're doing all of that place at once.
You got 20,000 people sitting in an arena and they're all going to meet the players? Those are
Ron,
the rich people that get to meet the players.
Ron, they have those experiences. I mean,
you got to pay extra for them.
I just had one of my friend girls from down in Miami who was down there doing the NFL Super Bowl experience where her son got to meet, some of the players from the San Francisco. Huh?
Former players at the NFL experience. I've done the NFL experience. That's fun. That's not the Pro Bowl. That's the Super Bowl.
But those type of things are set up for people like that to meet some of these players.
Not at the All-Star game. You can't go. If I buy a regular ticket to an All-Star game and I'm one of 20,000 people, what are my chances of meeting anybody on the ice? 0.
Ron,
you got to buy a package.
They have the whole weekend set up. I mean, again, that's why I said if you can afford to do it. I prefaced that in the beginning. You
know how hard it's getting to admit that I know you with some of your I can't even understand your opinions.
They're all there. I mean, they're all there at those games.
And my question is, doing what? I don't want to watch them taking the ice, taking the baseball field, taking the Pro Bowl stage. I don't want to watch the best players playing two-hand touch. I don't want to watch the best players in hockey just going 3-on-3 in a 45 to 52 hockey game. I don't want to watch that. The only one that's even marginally competitive is Major League Baseball because they actually have some small token to play for. NBA basketball, I mean, what is it? It's like about, 165 to 175. And if you like dunks and nobody playing defense and people acting like idiots out on the court, that's great. I want to see great basketball from the best players in basketball. That's what I want to see. Am I out of my mind?
Well, Ron, if you want to do that, you tune into the championship games. You tune into the playoffs.
Then I only see 2 or 3
the All-Star
players.
Game it's not about that. It's about the players having fun. It's that one time where all the players can get to play against the best players, but let their hair down and have fun too. I mean, how many times? I mean, these players take the game serious the whole season long. The whole season they have to take the game serious. The All-Star Game is that one time where they can get together as a collective, let their hair down and have fun, and it also it's for the fans to see them have fun too. I mean, people tune in to the NBA All-Star Game to see if Kobe's going to throw a ball off the backboard and LeBron is going to catch it and do a tomahawk. People tune into that. They tune into the All-Star Game for that. They tune into the All-Star Game for someone making an interception and pitching the ball off to Fletcher Cox and letting the defensive lineman run down the field and score a touchdown. They tune in for stuff like that. It's not about necessarily the competition. If that's what you're looking for, tune into the playoffs or the regular season.
That's your best argument.
And that's what it is.
Stupid.
It's not stupid. That's just
I'm
that's what
losing
people
faith
turn
in
into.
humanity the more I listen to your argument.
That's
Honestly.
not. But I'm sorry,
This
but
is
that's
like the
what
last
people
two-
tune into.
The last two functioning brain cells trying to get together and reproduce is coming up with this. This is ridiculous.
No, it's not, Ron. It's for the people. It's not for. If that's what you're looking for, a competition, you wait till the last
Did I
2
hear-
minutes of the
Okay.
game. If that's what you're looking for.
Okay, answer my question. You're a sports fan like I am. We're passionate about sports.
Right.
Would you rather see all the nonsense and silliness and goofiness that are in the All-Star games now? Or would you rather see, given a choice, the best players at every position going against the best players in every position at the highest possible levels? That's what we got with the Dream Team. That's what made them so successful in an international, never seen before level of success. I don't want to see a bunch of guys going out there playing slap butt on the basketball court for an hour and a half. That's not talent for me. I want to see amazing. I want to see the incredible. I want to see the best defensive player trying to lock down LeBron. I don't see that. I see a bunch of guys that are all going out for a beer at halftime.
But Ron, that's
competitive.
You're comparing.
But answer my question.
You're comparing
Which would
apples.
you rather see?
You're comparing apples and oranges right now.
Which would you rather see?
You're comparing apples and
No,
oranges.
answer-
These are two different arguments because you're saying
No, forget
you're-
the Olympics.
No,
Forget the Olympics. Which would you rather see?
If-
What we see now in the NBA Finals or in the NBA All-Star Game, or would you like to see the best players playing as hard as they can against the best competition, and they're all trying to win at their highest possible game? Those are your choices: slap butt or high competition. Which one of those would you pick?
I tell you what, Ron. If you're looking for the NBA All-Star Game, don't tune into the fourth quarter. Just skip the first.
You're not
quarters.
answering the question.
No, I'm not going to answer your question. If that's what you're looking for, tune into the fourth quarter where you see LeBron going at Giannis. That's because that's when the game gets serious. That's when the competition kicks in. Don't tune into the All-Star game to the fourth quarter.
No part of any of these All-Star games ever gets serious. That's my problem with them.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
What games have you been watching? Are you serious?
I will not watch them anymore.
That's
my
my
point.
point.
It's unwatchable.
That's my point. Don't tune into the fourth quarter because that's when the games get serious. That's when these guys kick in. Hey, I'm trying to win. You have say for instance with Kobe's last game. Kobe deferred and took over that All-Star game, and they weren't giving Kobe anything. Kobe took that game. So that's the thing. If that's what you're looking for, don't tune into the fourth quarter. That's my argument.
I'm not tuning into any of it because it's not competitive. Everybody out there that's watching knows I'm right. Anyway, let's go on to UFC news. Huge story today. Conor McGregor has signed an exclusive 10-day contract to fight for the University of Kansas Jayhawks. The contract states clearly he must fight in all home and away games going up to February 14th. I think that's a big pickup for Kansas City. I know they lost D'Souza, so they needed to put somebody else on the roster. I think Conor McGregor is going to be a good add for the University of Kansas. Let's get on to NBA or NFL news with my beloved Patriots. And, Dante Scarnecchia, the offensive line coach for the past 34 years, retires today.
Okay.
This is such a flip-floppy thing that I'm kind of getting tired of. Whether Tom's coming back, whether he's not, we micromanage all the information surrounding his house, his suite at Gillette. His trainer sold his house and moved. Dante Scarnecchia left, but Josh... What's the offensive coordinator? Josh McDaniels stays.
Yeah.
So he stays. Scarnecchia leaves. He hasn't signed a contract. He's very non-committal. I'm getting so tired of it at this point. First of all, it's like we've already talked about this ad nauseum. Where's he going to go if he wants to win championships? Who needs a quarterback that's willing to take him on and pay him the respect money that he wants? That's the first thing. But here's the second thing.
Tennessee Titans.
Right, the Tennessee Titans. Okay, well, that could be an option. I don't know. But I'm looking over all the mock drafts that are starting to come out. Everybody has them. Fox Sports has it. Sports Illustrated, ESPN, and Mel Kiper has his mock drafts. Right. CBS Sportsline has one that comes out. Pats have the 23rd overall pick. Many of these mock drafts, and who knows how good, half the time about 30% of it is right. And that's usually in the top 10, which are lockdown picks. A lot of these drafts have the New England Patriots picking up 6'6" defensive end junior out of Iowa, AJ Epinesa, who is a lockdown defensive lineman, and I think an awesome talent, definitely first-round talent. But if you want Tom Brady to stay at Gillette, you absolutely 100% metaphysical certitude cannot draft a defensive player. Absolutely can't do it. Am I out of my mind?
No, you're not, Ron. And this is for the first time tonight. I absolutely 110% agree with you.
Oh, great. Now, I've been worried about that all day, whether you were going to agree with me, and now life can go on.
Yes, I mean, look, if I'm New England, I'm trying to make some trades. I'm trying to either move
up and get two picks in the first round.
Trying to get some wide receivers or tight ends.
Yeah, so let's talk about who's out there. There's free agents that are out there. I'm going to shoot off names. You tell me if you want to pick them up, if you'd be interested in them, if you are New England. So A.J. Green is out there, 33 years old. He's got about $11 million. That's about where he's going to sign at.
Long in the tooth, no.
33?
No, man.
Who on the Patriots last year was better than him?
And he's injury prone, man.
Okay, but who on the Patriots last year was better than him? Edelman led the league in drop passes, and he wasn't 100% most of the season. And you could pick up A.J. Green for about $11 or $12 million. You're saying no?
The best ability is availability, man. He's been injured the last few years, man.
Okay, Emmanuel Sanders, 66 receptions, 5 touchdowns. He's in the $15 million range against the cap. They've got $49 million this year under the cap. $49 million. So, Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, I pick him. He's to me, it'd be an upgrade.
Okay, Nelson Aguilar. He's only 27 years old. He's coming off an injury with Philly this year. You could probably get him for a song and a dance. And again, who's better on their team right now than Nelson Aguilar?
Nobody. I'll roll the dice on him.
Okay, so I'd roll the dice on him too. Let's look at some tight ends. Eric Ebron, 31 receptions. He's 26 years old. He's young. You can get him for less than $10 million a year, so he's cap friendly. I like that move. Tyler Eifert, 29. He had 43 receptions this year. I like him. He's a big guy, 6'5".
Yeah, Bengals, yeah.
Yeah, and then this is what I also started looking at is in the draft, if they can move up, they're at 23 now. If they could package some kind of a deal where they can get up in a pick, I would give 3 or 4 second, third, or fourth round picks to move up to get into that 8 to 12 range.
Right.
Because then you start talking about Jerry Jeudy, who's in that 11 to 15 range. You start talking about T. Higgins, who's in that 11 to 15 range. He's 6'4".
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a lights-out stud. You can go CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
Lamb is, now you're talking 8 to 10, 11 range.
Right.
So you really got to move up to get him. Henry Ruggs is in the 12 to 20 range, I think, in the draft. My problem with Henry Ruggs is he's 6 foot tall. I can get T. Higgins at 6'4", with just the same amount of speed. So when we start talking about Henry Ruggs and we talk about the wide receiver out of TCU, then it starts getting sketchy. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to move up and give up value to pick up somebody that's not a lockdown guy. If I'm going to move up, I need to get somebody that is going to entice Tom to stay. AJ Epinesa is a great defensive end, but Tom Brady is going to hear that draft pick and throw a brick through his television.
Yeah, I mean.
And that's going to be it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't move. He's a defensive lineman, and that's what Belichick wants to do. I mean, yeah, I'm
can't go defense. No way. Not in the first 2 or 3 rounds. You can't.
No.
Tight end, the kid out of Notre Dame, Cole Kmet. He's 6'5", big kid. Bryson Hopkins out of Purdue. Yeah. He's about 6'5". I'm not totally sold on him, but when I looked at the free agents that are out there at tight end, it's like like I said, it's Eric Ebron and Tyler Eifert, and then it's a bunch of guys that are over 33 that I'm not interested in. If we're going to rebuild, we got to rebuild young. We got to rebuild now.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going for a tight end and it's somebody that I really want to pick up, I mean, if I was Belichick, I will look into trying to get David Njoku from the Cleveland Browns, where you can, use like a 7th or 8th round pick and, throw a couple of picks at Cleveland Browns and pick up David Njoku.
Or throw in Mohamed Sanu.
Throw
him into the deal.
Right. And, just pick him up from Cleveland.
I don't know how much tread is on the tire with him anymore.
Right. I throw him in the deal with Cleveland. I mean, because then you have a young athletic receiver who you can actually split out, as a wide receiver, and he can sit and he can block as well. And he's a pretty good tight end. So that'd be something that I would look at if I was Belichick.
So I'm thinking about this. Let's just go back to the Super Bowl again real quick. So 1 to 10, what's your confidence level in Kansas City?
My confidence level.
10 is your absolute metaphysical certitude they win the game. God told you so.
I would say a 7.5. Yeah.
Okay, you want to go a hat?
I ain't buying no more hats, man.
No, what? You lost last time.
I ain't buying no more hats,
look
man.
at you. You wanted to dip your toe in the water and you lost, and now you're like, I'm not going swimming.
I'm not buying no more hats anymore.
What else is going on in the world of sports, Chris?
Yeah, man. We still, dealing with the aftermath of Kobe Bryant, the death of Kobe this week. And one of the most classiest things that I saw was from the University of UConn. Kobe's daughter was a diehard University of UConn fan. She loved UConn. She actually was committed to go to UConn. And one of the classiest things they did is they put her jersey with a bed of roses on the seat where she would be sitting had she, lived to get that, have her dream come into fruition to play at UConn. And I think that was real classy. I mean, hats off to Gino and his staff for doing that.
UConn is a first-class organization all the way. Gino Auriemma has been a first-class character guy, stand-up guy since day one, even standing with Pat Summitt in her years when victory-wise they were in decline and health-wise she was in decline. And, 2 thumbs up to them. That music can mean only one thing. It's time to thank our support staff. But before we do, I want to thank you for watching here. Thank you to all of our new subs. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know twice a week and sometimes 3 times a week we put out new videos talking about everything going on in the world of sports. The man on the board, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, my co-host, Chris Roberts, El Presidente, Chet 40. For all of us here in the St. Jude studios, thank you for your time, ear, and your participation. You can follow us here on Twitter at TheFirstRound1. Or email the show with questions and comments. It's thefirstroundrd@gmail.com. We'll be right back here Sunday afternoon before the Super Bowl talking about everything going on, the halftime show, and why my 49ers pick is going to be the winner. Until then, take care of yourselves, everybody.